What's going on, guys? Stefan here with you, S&E's Garage. Today we're here in the garage with the '07 Camry. We're coming up on 197,000 miles on this car. It is an '07, so it's about 15 years old. And about a year and a half ago when we got it, we went ahead and upgraded to that Apple CarPlay head unit. But we didn't do anything about the stock speakers. And after about like I said, year of using that head unit, pumping more power into these speakers than they were designed for, and listening to them relatively loud. I guess I like listening to my music loud sometimes. The front door speakers on this car are blown now. When the bass hits, you get a little bit of rattle from the speakers, and I figured it's about time we do that. So we just went with some cheapo, run-of-the-mill Pioneer 6x9s. That's what these take in the doors, is 6x9s. And then we went ahead and got the Metra adapters for the speakers, and we got the plugs here that allows you to plug the speakers in to the factory wiring without cutting or splicing. Whenever I can maintain the factory wiring, I will always do that, so that is great. I'm going to drop a link down below to everything I'm using in this video, the adapters, the wires, and the speakers. So if you decide you want to do something similar or exactly the same, the links are right down below, and if you purchase from those links, we get a small cut, and it helps our channel grow, and it helps us be able to do things like this. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get it set up on the tripod, and we're going to remove this door panel. Now, it's been probably about 10 years since I've removed the door panel from a 6th gen Camry, so I am going to be doing this basically off of memory, and I'm pretty sure I remember how to do it. I know we have to take this guy off here. There's going to be 2 screws behind that. There's going to be one behind here. We're going to have a clip here, and then I think there might be a screw on the side here somewhere. I don't exactly remember. There actually might not be. So let's go ahead and get you on the tripod, get off what we can see right away, and take it from there. Now, I always like to start by rolling my window down. By rolling my window down, I'm giving myself more room up top to maneuver the door panel. It's just going to make your life easier. Now, we're going to be using plastic interior trim removal tools for most of this, and then screwdrivers for wherever else we need them. I am going to drop a link to something similar to these in the description below, and they are also in my affiliate store. So you're definitely going to want a set of these so you don't damage your door panel. So the first thing we're going to do, like I said, is we're going to get this trim tool back here, like this, and we're going to pop this cover off, like so. We're going to set that aside, and then we're also going to come here and we're going to pull our door handle open, and we're going to get behind this plastic piece, and we're going to pop this off as well. And that's going to show us our Phillips head here, our Phillips head here, and our Phillips head here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come up here. I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me make sure you can. Up by the mirror. And we are going to go ahead and remove this as well. And then we can use the tip of this trim tool here and push in on our, let me get you moved over a little bit here, our safety tab here. Push this in. That's going to pop out. Make sure you don't lose it. And now we can go ahead and start taking our screws out. Let me go get a Phillips head screw. Take it from there. Now, we are just using a regular run-of-the-mill Phillips head screwdriver. The same thing you would have in your garage at home. I'm not using any fancy tools or anything here. And we are just going to carefully remove our screws and set them aside. So there's one, here's 2, and this third one's a little bit tricky because of how recessed it is. Someone's been in here before, actually, because this one is a little stripped. There it goes. Alright, we got that out all the way. So now you're going to grab your door panel at the bottom and give it a quick yank. And you should feel the clips release just like that. And now let me take you off the tripod. And I'm going to show you exactly what you're going to be looking at here. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your door panel here by the handle. And you're going to lift up. And it is going to come up off of the door sill like this. And now you're going to have a couple of things you need to disconnect. First and foremost, we need to pull these cables off of the door handle. And then you're going to have some connectors here. You're going to have a blue one here, a white one down there, and then you're going to have the one for the lights, for the door sill light down there. So let me get these disconnected and then I'll show you. So we actually only had to disconnect this blue one because if you look back here, that's just an extension that goes down to the window switch. So we were totally fine there. And then we just unplugged the one down here for our mood light basically. And now you'll see here the factory paper junky speaker. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to unplug the speaker like so. Let's see if we can get it with our trim tool here. Alright, and then we're going to grab a 10 millimeter. Actually, we can take that out with a Phillips head. We'll use our Phillips head. We'll pull these 4 bolts out. There's number 1. Number 2. Number 3. And number 4. Set them aside. Pull your speaker right out, and you'll see just how junky this speaker is. The cone is made out of paper, like we said. The whole magnet support is just a cheap piece of plastic, and we're going to upgrade to a much nicer speaker. Alright guys, so we just went ahead and opened up our Metra adapters here, and you're just going to want to line them up with how the factory speaker came out. You'll see the connector is on top with this wider, I guess, oval shape at the top, and we're going to make sure that we install this exactly the same way. So we're just going to go ahead and try to line this up so that all the holes line up, and they do. So we're just going to go ahead, screw this into place like so. Okay, we're going to take our Phillips head, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we are going to take our wire leads here that plug into the factory wiring. We are going to plug them in like so, and then there's a little square cutout on the top of your Metra adapters, and you're going to go ahead and run those wires down and into the door panel like so. So now your wires are here, ready to go. Let's open up our speakers, plug them in, screw them in. Alright guys, so now that we got these wires through, you're going to go ahead. What's awesome about these connectors here is you don't have to figure out which one of these 2 wires is positive and negative. Once you plug them into the adapter, there is a wide terminal and a skinny terminal, and they will coincide with the wide and skinny terminals on your aftermarket speakers. So we're going to go ahead, connect the wide to the wide, and the skinny to the skinny. We're going to pull this out as far as we can to prevent it from getting caught in the window when the window rolls up and down. And now we're going to look for a set of screws that fits into this plastic here. I think I found a set that works. These are just some Phillips heads that I had laying around. And we're going to go ahead and tighten the speakers up. Actually, these screws aren't working too well for me. Let me see what other kind of screws I got laying around here. Alright guys, so we found some screws that worked. You'll see this speaker is now nice and neat in the door, nice and secure. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a zip tie and we're going to try to neaten this up a little bit and zip tie it to this harness just so that these wires are out of the way. And like I said, can't get drawn into the window. And we're going to move on to the other side. Alright guys, now here's the finished product. You'll see we zip tied this harness nice and tight. There's not a whole lot of slack here in the wiring, so I don't have to worry about that getting sucked in by the window. And you'll see we are out with the old and in with the new. So let's go ahead on camera. We're going to put this door panel back on. Let me set you back up on the tripod. Show you how easy it is. And then I am going to, off camera, go ahead and get the other side together. Now this door panel is going to go on the same way it came off. You do have to hang it onto the window and then push it in. But the first thing we need to do is come back here and reconnect our door cables. The green one goes on the bottom and the clear one goes on the top. Okay, we're going to plug our blue connector back in. And then we are going to plug our courtesy light down here back in. Like so. And I always like to just test the door locks, make sure they work. Windows would also work if the key was on. So now, like I said, you need to pull the door panel out like this. The bottom is out, and you need to push the top in. And you'll kind of feel it click into place. And then you just go ahead and very carefully re-secure all of your push pins. You'll feel them click. Now we can go ahead and start putting our screws back in. See what you're looking at here. Make sure you see what I see. Alright, so we're going to take our Phillips head and our first screw here. The big black ones go in by the handle. And they are screwing into plastic, so you don't have to kill them, just snug them up. The other screw stayed in the door panel, believe it or not. So we didn't even have to take that one out, it just kind of rested in there. But we're going to do the same thing. Alright, that's snugged. We're going to take our third screw that was here behind the handle. We are going to put that in. Like so. Okay, our little gray clip here that we removed from this corner. Put that back in. Put our little triangle back in. You'll feel it click. We're going to go ahead and put our handle insert back in, and then our grab handle cover will also snap right into place. I'm just trying to remember, you might have to start from the bottom and work your way up. It's been a little while since I've done one of these. There we go. Like so. That's in. All of our clips are in. Door locks work. So now we are going to go ahead, hop onto the passenger side. Alright guys, so on the passenger side there are some slight differences that I do want to make you aware of. There are a couple of extra connectors you're going to have to unplug. On the driver's side, there is one master connector for all the switches. Passenger side is not like that. You have two. One is for the lock unlock, and the other is for the window switch. Then you have your third connector down here, which is the mood light, courtesy light, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be easier for you to just pop it out, which is real easy. You just push this tab in, and it pops right out. That way you can unplug it, because there's not enough room behind where it connects right here to unplug it, so you are going to have to remove it. But just drop the screw But now, like I said off camera, we're going to go ahead. You saw me do this exact thing on the driver's side, so we're going to go ahead and do it and put the door panel back on. Alright guys, here we have the finished product on this side. We did the same exact thing as we did on the driver's side. You'll see we just zip tied the connector up, pulled as much of the slack out of the window area as possible. So now what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to turn on your radio, put on some of your favorite music, test your work, and then tune it to sound as good as it can. Because chances are, if you're upgrading your speakers, your previous EQ settings are not going to sound as good as it could. So that's what we have to do. I would play some music through these, but I do not want to get copyrighted, so I'm not going to do that. So all we have to do, put this door panel back on, play with it a little bit, but otherwise we are done. So if this video helped you upgrade the speakers in your 6th generation Camry, that's 2007 to 2011, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.